Hello and welcome to another side play. Me, GamerWolfSix of Khemia. Before we start, if you're interested in playing this game, you can get it free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and or get the newest version earlier, you can go to their Patreon, which is $3 a month. So, in the last Let's Play, or yeah, let's call it Let's Play, whatever. We came back here where we were talking about, the parents and being like, like what is their past and stuff like that, and the parents' connections to the siblings. And I guess like there's different parents because there's like the Romanist parents and the like Egyptian parents and stuff like that. I thought it was like one parent for like every, or one for a group for the entirety of it, but I guess it's like one parent for each or something like that. I don't know. But then, yeah, it seems like the Vizier is, doesn't like uh, Nefru. He was being a bit more of an, ooh woo. Not ooh woo, but like, it was being a jerk. But then we're also being back to Virginia and Cass. And yeah, it seems like things are set in motion because it's like the Pharaoh, nobody kind of knows where they are. Like he went to go to Amafra and kind of went missing, or nobody knows. We don't know what happened to him. He's just, supposedly going about the galaxy, but nobody like has seen him. And the plan I'm thinking of is maybe the Vizier, whose name I can't remember, maybe either had him killed or, captured by the Amafrans or something like that, and is working with the Amafrans to, do a war with the wolves? Maybe. I mean, both of them don't like the wolves anyways, to some degree, so that doesn't seem out of the possibilities. But anyways, reset face and begin. Dinner is interesting. First of all, we're alone. Nefru and Ramosis somehow still carrying on with their meeting. I hope Nefru's okay. Wait, oh, right. We're, what's his name? Skip. Those thoughts are quickly stolen by the food itself as I take my first bite. Vetrus takes his at the same time and then starts howling about the spiciness of it. Sure enough, my eyes water and my nose runs, and it only seems to get worse. The food, a poultry dish of some sort, is so spicy it numbs my tongue while still managing to stay painful. Why the world would anyone want to suffer agony while they eat? I can't help but agree with Vetrus. While I enjoy some spice in my food, I don't enjoy being in pain, writhing in my seat as if trying to escape it. Despite Amicus's calm, straight face, his eyes and nose tell me he's experiencing the same thing. I suppose there's an appeal to the rush of endorphins that I fall into a coughing fit. As appealing as rush as I get when I stub a claw. Well, at least Khemians aren't here to enjoy our pain. Apologies, directions were followed according to the Vizier's Ramosis specifications. Daket in Samu can be prepared with a mild amount of spice. Apply that to all dishes that are spicy. Yes, same please. Me as well. Noted. All future dishes for all wolves will be mildly spicy. After we eat the food surrounding the molten meat, which was admirably delicious, Amicus and I wait for Vetrus to finish, while he still picks around the side dishes, despite them being meant for, I assume, cooling the mouth. Finally, Amicus stands, and so do Vetrus and I. Ahem. Please tell Ramosis the dinner was wonderful, and please avoid telling him about our struggle with the spice. We don't want to be rude. Vetrus elbows me in the thigh, which is the height his elbow is at. More like, we don't want to give them the satisfaction, eh? He was probably looking forward to seeing us choke down if Nefru hadn't pissed him off for whatever reason. I just nod, then follow Amicus into the halls of the palace. Apparently, there's a room for discreet meetings, with background noise to ward off eavesdropping. Amicus looks at the door, then stares slightly at as it opens soundlessly, and I can already hear sounds coming from within. At first I thought it was like, this is a wall here, and then it's like a big hallway here, but I guess it could be like, hey, this is the sky and that's some building in the distance. Pools and fountains, decorative and lavish, causing a cacophony of pleasant water sounds. I have to pee. Amicus leads me to the center, where benches sit and towels lie. I use one to wipe off the bench while the others do the same. Then Amicus focuses. This was a mistake. My eyes widen and Vetris is silent for once. Our meeting consisted of Ramosis listing off grievances we never discussed before, and that he says needs to be addressed. Have any of you gotten a straight answer on what the Pharaoh is doing, or where the hell he is? Amafra is what Ramosis, or whatever, said. Ramosis teacher. Oh yeah, I guess he did mispronounce it or something. I say it as respectfully as possible, bowing to him at the same time. Actually worried he might get himself into big trouble around someone like Ramosis. So he says, but there's no return date, or actual information on where that he's on out there that he's on Amafra. That would be a headline on any galactic news channel. Man, that face there. I would say it's confidential, but if that were the case, Vizier Moses shouldn't have told us. Like I told you, Scipio, something is wrong here. Best case scenario is that he's telling the truth, and we simply have to put up with that pompous jackal. I don't know who the hell trained him, but they sure fucked up. I'm ashamed as I start to question my own Emperor's ability to handle the situation. He can keep his emotions in check when needed, but when those walls drop, it seems all he feels is frustration, irritation, and anger. He wasn't always like this, according to Nefru. Worst case scenario, we're falling into a trap, but I trust the parents and Khemians enough to hope that it's impossible. Yeah, that is the question where it's like, yeah, it seems like something bad's gonna happen, but you'd think that the parents would prevent that. Though if they did, then we wouldn't have Adastra, you know? Well, then there's the human. Stranger things have happened. Yes, and with Ramosis in control, it would be the only time such a move would make sense. Maybe we should have escaped already, at the very least. They tightly control all vehicles and have the stretch drive equipped, or that have the stretch drive equipped. I believe if such a thing were to happen, Nefru would help us obtain one, if he can. Oh yes, ask him, please. There would be at least one worry off of my mind. The rest being the collapse of the plan. Or Adastra as a whole. Amicus shakes his head, like he doesn't want to believe anything. If they even try, it'll be the end of the Galaxias, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what that means, or what Amicus is thinking about, but my assurance that Nefru will help us seems to calm them, and it makes me feel useful. Amicus asks if there's anything more, and Vetris lists off a few things he found that seemed suspiciously advanced, such as the floating globe in the courtyard. I mentioned the extremist groups that Amicus seems surprised to hear about, maybe even a little mocking. Oh yeah, that was the thing from the last Let's Play where it's like, hey, there's extremist groups. Or protests, some of them from the cat people. Weren't we always told there was no extremism on Khemia? When the meeting is over, the mood is gloomy and dark. Despite knowing how unlikely it is, our mission is clearly shifted into something we've never prepared for, and we can only hope it rights itself somehow. Or that we're simply wrong. I sit alone in the courtyard, holding a uniquely shaped stone, one covered with eroded holes and spiky protrusions around it, but my mind is mostly blank. Hmm. So I guess that would it be Pahoehoe? Basically, like, I guess it's a volcanic rock that, had a lot of gases and stuff. It can float. Yeah, I guess it would be volcanic, because, yeah. After the initial landing and introductions, followed by seeing Ramosis, then the meeting, my hopes of the mission have fallen significantly. I especially remember Ramos's eyes burning into mine, asking me who I was. It seems to me that we should have waited until the Pharaoh arrived, whenever that might be, because the Vizier is so abrasive and strange that I don't think it's possible to negotiate anything fair with him. And what's the point of me manipulating and prying Nefru's life when he was so clearly out of favor um, uh, amongst those who truly rule? Well, I like him, and we need a ship. Hold still for a second. Nefru's smooth, gentle voice makes my chest feel as if I slipped on ice. The feeling happens again as I glance back and was surprised to see that Nefru has no loincloth on. What did he have on before? Like, he was never. But he has a loincloth on. Rather, he's holding in his right paw. Close your eyes so I don't get sand in them. Eh? I do as I'm told, and I hear and feel him sweep it on the ground next to me. I open my eyes to see a small creature, like a large beetle, skittering away, and then I see the tail. A scorpion? I see it with a pup-like wonder that's still embarrassing, especially when Nefru laughs, but scorpions had become one of the symbols Khemia that drew me to this planet before I even started proper schooling. Sorry, I just never heard anyone excited over those creatures. Nothing wrong with being interested in them, but do keep an eye out when you're outside in the sands, especially at night. I've completely forgot. Thank you. Nefre puts his loincloth back on, and I can't help but watch the ritualistic movements as he wraps it between his legs, over his thighs, then fastens the ornate clasp in front. Oh, that's the thing. I was like, I can see his bulgy wulgy, but it's not like he ever had too much on him. So I wonder how he dealt with Adastra, because it was, well, I guess it was humid and stuff. So, why are you sitting out here alone and looking so gloomy? I lean back in my paws, gripping through the sand that's still warm from the blazing heat of the day. It's nice to be outside when it isn't too hot, especially for a wolf. Also, everyone is doing something else right now, so I'm just soaking in the Khemian air. Nefru inhales deeply. I have missed the desert air, I have to admit. We sit in silence for several minutes, and it feels good, but I'm too curious and worried not to ask. It was a long meeting with your brother. Ugh, yeah, he wanted every detail. I didn't tell him half of what happened, since he's not my father. When is your father going to be here, though? I don't think I've heard of what exactly he's doing in over a year. Not to say it's my business, but your brother saying he's on Mafra is the only thing I've been told. Should be in the coming days, according to Ram. Oh, Ramosis. I'm not sure what my father's doing, but it's clearly something classified, considering I've heard no news, nor have I seen him mentioned when visiting the other worlds. I shift, trying to keep my tail from twitching, instead staring at the sky. Heh, it's almost like you're waiting for your own father to land. I frowned at the idea. Definitely not my father. I'd be waiting for crash landing in that case. Oh, I'm sorry. I never delved into your family life, since you seem to be a bit guarded about it. He was cruel to me, and especially my mother, before leaving and just never coming back. But it was a good thing. It was peaceful with just me and my mother. Ah, maybe my family is right about me being too self-centered. I don't even realize that others around me have similar struggles. It's okay. I was very young, so I had no real attachment to him. Nefru, if things become dangerous here, or if we become trapped, or even attacked here. What? Did something happen? No, I'm worried because your brother is a bit shitty. He doesn't demonstrate control over his emotions, and he seems to think being rude is a part of ruling. I'm sure if your father doesn't show up, this mission will be a failure. Or mission. A mission? Hmm. And his hostility honestly has me worried. And I'm hoping there's a way out of here in case that happens. Nefru seems to figure out everything we Adastrans are worried about. The last time I saw my father must have been 3 years ago, and the times I did see him were very brief, usually to give me some sort of task. Is nothing unusual for him to do. But yes, he has a far better temperament than my brother. Still, Ram is solidly behind the Alliance. That I at least know to be true. You do? Yes. He worked his entire life to this point. Why would he throw it away and risk derailing the entire Galaxias? Which is what would happen. But just in case, would you help us? Even if your brother would not want it? Of course, Scipio. I would have to I would have to come with you, since a scenario like that would definitely end in my banishment. But I think we'd have bigger issues to worry about in that case. That relieves me, and I reach out, hugging him around the shoulders, Khemian style. Thank you, Nefru. That makes it feel a lot better. He hugs back twice as hard. Man, I want to be hugged by a big jackal, man. But really, try not to worry. Ramo is a unique personality, simultaneously ambitious, but stupid. Yeah, stupid doesn't mean that they won't cause problems. I snore unintentionally. Gods, Nefru, that's cold. Sorry, reading out. That's simply how the truth feels, Skip. Anyway, I would be more worried about possible Amorphan saboteurs than anything else. That reminds me of something. So, what are these groups that might cause us harm? I thought Khemia was mostly free of radicalism. Nefru's mood dampens visibly. There are extremists everywhere, of course, but they've never been this bold. Much like some of your cities, like Lupus, fringe groups flourish on parts of the planet that must be gently handled, and perhaps it was too gentle. Lux has the same issue. Yeah, I'm wondering how Intera is going to turn out, if, gets more development. But then, I have the same issue, going in the opposite direction, willing to watch an uneducated man of Lux stuffed into their disgusting taverns and set ablaze, just like they did to the schools. To be fair, Lux was practically set up for such conditions, but times are changing in the Galaxias, and I need to tell you about one of those groups. But honestly, I need a bit more time to explain myself. You're part of one? In my mouth. No, wait, in my mouth. Or in my youth. Not mouth. Ooh. But it caused me tremendous grief, and I regret it deeply. Huh. It would be weird to think of him being a radical. The heaviness of Nefru's voice makes you wonder how far he went if he hurt people. A clicking sound mixed with a scraping is heard as I grip the rock too tightly and chip a claw on my middle finger. I hardly notice. I'm mostly shocked to think someone like Nefru would join a group like that, but I know my reaction is important, and like I said, times are changing, and that's because people do too. No problem. Maybe you can tell me after you've had a little time to think on it? Yeah. So, why is he so, abrasive? Nephew easily adjusts to the change in subject. Because that's who he is. Especially with father not being around. He's a bit more bold and more stressed out from the position he's in. I ponder that. I suppose that makes sense. I'm surprised he stumbled upon, or he snubbed us upon our landing, though. Isn't that reserved for those you don't like? To tell him the time is not important to you? I think he just enjoys having any sort of power, especially considering how weak he was as a pup. Oh, why did your father choose him as the successor then? Power hungry, ir- irritable, and even cruel while holding on to past grudges. This is all the markings of a mad emperor, or pharaoh in this case. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's preparing my oldest sister for it. That gets my attention. Really? He no, he should, because I think anyone in your family is better suited to become pharaoh than he is. Though that is a question. I thought they were voted into power. Or maybe it's like pharaoh is like, high up, but isn't end all be all. I don't know. They'd have to chain me to the throne. But now that Ram is messing things up so badly, Hanut can finally. Nefru. I turn and see Yaya, and my mood lifts, seeing someone who had been kind to me, aside from Nefru and Brutus. Give me a second. I had to clear my throat. Oh, he's just cute. You can't just share sensitive family secrets that I tell you. You're going to get me in trouble. Relax, Aya. We can trust Skip. Luckily. She turns to me. Look at those ears, they're so big. Anyway, do you want to learn a bit more about what's going on, Scipio? Oh, yes, of course. I get up, brushing the sand from my robes. I assume I'm not allowed to come? Of course not. Well, I suppose I'll just have to wait alone. If you're still up for talking, and it's not too late, you can come by my sleeping quarters if you like. Ooh, ooh. I knew it. Nephew, why didn't you just tell me he's your boyfriend? I could tell right away. I shift uncomfortably as Nefru glances at me. Oh, sorry. I'm such a chameleon. Whatever you guys are, it's good for you, Nefru. And I want to be Nefru's boyfriend. Ahem. Thanks, Aya. He turns to me. I still do want to answer your question when you have time. Of course, Nefru. Now, he turns to Aya. And don't take this the wrong way, Aya, but don't do anything that might be strange or weird, alright? No promises. Nothing strange or weird. Scipio already knows most of this stuff. Alright, I'll talk to you later, Skip. I follow Aya through the palace. The hall is quiet to a degree that's almost suffocating. I try to fill the silence by commenting on it. It's very quiet in this place, or palace. In general, I mean. You have my father to thank for that. He had a very difficult time paying attention when there were distracting sounds. He had most of the palace surfaces covered in a layer of nanomaterial that absorbs and cancels sound. Man, I wish we had that. I see. I wonder if we even have the resources to create such nanotech. We finally come to a stop at an inconspicuous door, though there are hieroglyphs, ancient ones, surrounding the door that hint at something more beyond. Aya stops suddenly, as if remembering something, and turns to me. She takes a moment to look me over. Okay, do you have any idea what this might be about, Scipio? Not confidently, but I think it must have something to do with your ability to speak with me in my head over long distances. It does, yes, but much, much more than that. Scipio, you have specific abilities that have gone undetected until now. This is usually the case. This is usually the case, but Khemia has recently achieved the ability to measure and detect it. I wonder if these abilities are simply talents, like maybe my good grasp of history. I'm not sure you have the right wolf, Aya. I don't think I. Have you ever met someone who did the same as I, or experienced the same as you? Can't recall. No. Was me being able to hear you unusual? Very. But the most important question I have is if you want to learn more, or leave it at that. While it's not dangerous, it seems you're having negative experiences relating to this ability. Like a Hawaii? Oh, no, not that specifically. I see Aya move away from the door, taking steps towards me, and I think she's second-guessing herself. Is it bad for you? I can help you find resources for treatment, or let Nefruit know so he can. I let out a fake laugh, one that I think sounds genuine, though it's hard to tell with how the walls suck up the sand around it. Oh, no, that's not what came to mind. I have a mild case of it if that causes negative moments in my life, so I thought that might be it. I see. I haven't prodded further into your past out of respect, but I can sense some unresolved pain. I just want to warn that sometimes the experiences can be intense, and outside forces can take advantage of this. There's a pause, and I blink at Aya, want to learn more about these outside forces. I know this sounds very confusing, but there are a few rules that must be followed, so what happens beyond this door cannot be discussed with anyone except me. I just want to forewarn you and give you a chance to back out. Ooh. This is all becoming much more serious than I initially expected. Still, the mysterious nature of it all, and the almost frustrating ambiguity makes it feels as I can't back out now. I think we might roll back to and then put it there, because we're getting kind of close to time, and it is hard to do some of this stuff where it's like when's a good time to stop and all that, but I mean it do be like that sometimes. Yeah, man, I need to clear my throat with something. I don't know, because sometimes my throat just is like, hey, you're reading, how about we get filled up with all this jazz? Though I guess this jazz might help with preventing throat damage from all this use or something. I don't know. And that's gonna be the end of this Let's Play. So comment, guys, comment, you like, dislike, tips, tricks. Otherwise, if you like my YouTube and like to see it grow, then please like, subscribe, and check out the rest of the ground. Please remember to spay new animals to help control the pit population. And if you want to play this game, it's available free on itch.io. But if you want to support the people that make this game and to get the newest version earlier, then you can go to their Patreon, where it's $30 a month. And until next time, another Let's Play, me, GamerWolfSix of Khemia. So thanks and see you.